Hello and welcome to Tech. I'm Mohammad Adnan, and this is the final part of HR dashboard. The remaining things is the male-female ratio, employee turnover rate, and employee retention rate. We'll discuss about these three in this video and close up this HR dashboard. If you're new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed yet, just click on the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get the latest notifications. Now let's get started. The first thing is male-female ratio. So clicking on here, the count sheet I have added that this is my old file. So clicking here, what it says is for one male there are 3.46 of female in the company. As for the government norm, the male female ratio should be equal or it has to be more than that. So seeing this old measure male female ratio, let me explain you what I have done so far here. It's male female ratio. First of all, I have declared a variable to calculate the employee count and where the gender is female. So that's what I'm calculating it here, employee count where the gender is female, and then I'm using it male count, so calculate employee count comma where the gender is male. So I got these two values. Now I want to divide it to get the ratio value, right? So I'm just using this divide function here, the divide the female versus the male count comma 0. So it will give me in one value here, but that has to be formatted into digits. So I'm just using here the format option. The format function will be very helpful if you want to format it here inside the tag. So I'm just passing the value here and I'm just converting it to be 2-digit number. So that's why I'm using it here. Hash dot 2 hash means it will just give you two values 1.56, 3.46, something like that. So in the return, what I'm just using it here, I'm just making it manually. Is for the one male is proportionate to, I'm just adding the ratio value here, what I'm getting the value here with the formatting option. Just a simple thing, right? So now let's copy this and go back to the new file, and inside to this one I'm adding a new measure, paste here. So it brings up here the female, male, and divide and count here and commit now. If you go to this count sheet, selecting this employee count, control C and control V, so drag and drop and keep it over here. Instead of this employee count, I'm just using male female ratio. So one is 3.46 is a male female ratio. So the next thing, I'm going to add a new sheet, the analytics. So let's have a look at the thing what I have done over there. Analytics. Here about the analytics, first of all you need to understand the concept behind that, because as I said earlier, domain knowledge is important in order to work on any kind of dashboard, right? So employee turnover rate is the number of employees that have to be replaced in a given period of time. Turnover rate is that the value expressed as the percentage. Over a full year, a tour company with 54 employees had 3 guides and 4 assistants left the company, but hired 4 new guides and 2 rafting coaches and 3 assistants. So this is to be the calculation. 7 divided by 54 is the 1, and at the end of the year we have 56 because 7 left and 9 joined, so that is 56. It should be divided by 2 and into 100. So the value annual is 12.7% annual rate. Let me show it in Excel. So in a company, we had 54 employees and 3 guides left the company and 4 assistants left the company, right? And but we have new hired 4 new guides and 2 rafting coaches and 3 assistants. So if you add all these things, we got 56. So this is the start of the year and this is the end of the year over a period of time, right? Whatever we are going to select here. So we are just pointing out how many people left? It is left is 7, right? So 3 plus 4. So 7 is the base value, and we are adding 54 and 56 start at the end of the period. So it's equal to 54 plus 56. This is the value. And first of all, this should be divided by 2 because we are adding a 2 value. So this divided by 2 is 55. And then now we are dividing this 7 divided by 55. It has to be multiplied by 100, and it has to be on the 2 digit. So it's 12.73 is the percentage of the employee turnover rate. So according to that, over a period of time, whatever they are selected, 12.7% of employee are just remaining from the company or going out of the company and coming in again. So that's the employee turnover rate. So basically here in our case, what we have done here, so on the visualization pane, its employee turnover rate is a measure I have written. So in the fields pane, in the measures table, employee turnover rate. I will clearly explain you one by one, so it will be helpful for you to understand how and what it is. Now, if you look at these measures, it looks like too complicated, right? I will go one by one in order to easily understand to you. So here the selected year first thing. So let's look at that measure. It is nothing but selected year is nothing but the selected value of the calendar year table, which is the slicer here on this screen. Look at this is the one. So going back again here, employee turnover rate. Okay, the first thing here, I am just taking in the variable the selected year and then value till the last year. So calculate count of HR employee count, or I can just use the measure what written here for employee count. Both of them are same. Here the calendar year is less than or equal to the one which is selected minus 1. For example, if I selected 2020 and it has to be less than to that minus 1. So they count till last year, and count this year is calculate the count of HR employee count, comma calendar year is less than or equal to this year. This is why, because let's go to this Excel file to get you understand. This is the minus 1 year till last year is 54. In this case, that's an example, and the till this year is the example case of 56. This is the difference between these two. And again here, where resigned this year, how many employees have resigned this year? In order to get that, I'm just going to calculate the count of employee code, and using one more DAX here is use relationship. Use relationships is nothing but it will just replace the existing relationship whatever we have done from inactive to active only for this particular calculation here, only for this alone. So because right now if you see this one and going to modeling and then manage relationship between the table and the HR data, only one is active here, the calendar table and HR data instead of joining. But actually I need the resign date, but I can't able to activate two at a time here. It will give an error message showing we can't able to activate two relationship at a time. In order to do that, you can keep this in an inactive state, and then only for this calculation we use this use relationship function in order to just activate that particular relationship between these two tables and then get the value. So what I'm saying it here, the calendar year date and HR resign date, it has to be relationship. If you look at this here, so use relationship between the column calendar date and then the resign date. I need that, and it has to be the calendar equal to the selected year. So in that case, I will just get the count of the resigned number of employees. If you go to Excel, this is the 3 minus 7 is 7, number of 7 employees have resigned for this particular year. Now for 2 calculation, we need to divide this till the last year and till this year value. So like this, I'm just adding 54 and 56 is the right, this is the one. And then dividing it by 2. So we got this 55 value here. That's what we are going to come up from this calculation. And the final thing, we need to divide the number of people who resigned this year divided by this value. So it is 55, 7 divided by 55, and it converts into percentage. That's what we got the value. And here in this case, we got this 18.54. Now, if we apply the same logic into our new file, so first of all, we need to add the calendar table, a year column in it. Selecting here and new column, paste here, calendar data dot date. Correct. Commit now. And now new measure. I want to create a measure here itself because this is subject to this one. Selected year equal to calendar date my year. Commit and then employee turnover rate, copying everything from here, going back here and creating a new measure. Okay, here it should be calendar data. Change it here. Okay, so we got this selected year till last year, till this year, and resigned this year, and dividing this value and got this value, and click commit now. Now, two things we need to do here. The first thing is we need to add a slicer onto this page. Here should be the drop down, and in the drop down I would like to select it to be 2020 for an example, and adding card visuals. It should show the employee turnover rate, and now you need to select that measure and go to measure tools, and in the general you can click here on the percentage symbol so that it can convert it to percentage. It's 18.54 employee turnover rate ratio, so it's also the same. Now coming to the next thing, employee retention rate. So employee retention rate is defined as a percentage of employee who remained on staff from the beginning to the end of the time period. Basically, the percentage of employee that stuck around. Over a full year, if your company with 54 employees had 3 guides and 4 assistants leave, but hired 4 new guides, 2 rafting coaches and 3 assistants. This is the same example what we had done earlier. So 54, 3 left, 4 left, 4 new join, 2 new join and 3 new join. So 54 minus 7 is 47, right? Yes. So 54 minus 3 minus 3 minus 4, it's 47. So what we say is by the start of the year we had about 54 employees, and by end of the year we had only 47 employees who remains in the company. So we need to divide those two, so it's 47 divided by the 54. It converting to percentage, it's 87% of employees are staying in the company without leaving the company. That's simple, right? So employee retention rate calculation, if you look at the tax measure, it's the same thing. You need to select the value, selected year, and till last year is count of employee count with the calendar year is less than -1, and resign this year, as I said, same thing, use relationship till the selected year, and just we're just minusing this year last year minus this year resigned value, will get this kind of 47 and dividing that value here, so we'll get 87%. So copying everything from here, so creating a new measure here. I'm not explained in detail about this measure because almost everything is the same what we have done for employee turnover rate. The same thing applies here for employee retention rate as well. So pasting here. The only change here is regarding this one. So it's already self-explanatory, so you can easily understand that. Minus this, and we are dividing to value this one. Control D. Here, if we know the beauty, if we just Control D again, it will select all the values here. Now, if you want to change one thing, it is going to change every places here. Calendar data. See, it's changing for every places. That's the beauty of the tags. Clicking on commit here, employee retention rate. So selecting this column here and measure tools, changing it to be percentage. Closing this, adding a new card to the page, adding the employee retention rate over there is 79.83% here, 79.13% here, and here also 79.13% here for the year 2020. With this, we have completed the HR dashboard. And so far, we have two projects over there. One is the sales analysis and another is the HR dashboard. Both of them are important things. We can learn the Power BI from base to start completely, easily understand with the domain knowledge as well. If you like these videos and if you want me to do more on these kind of projects, please comment your post on the comment section below. If you like this video, just click on the big thumbs up button if you're new to this channel, or if you haven't subscribed yet, just click on the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get the latest notifications. But make sure to turn on the notification on your devices. Share it with your friends and colleagues. If you're not yet a member of our channel, just hit the join button to know in detail about it. Thanks for watching. Keep learning. See you in the next video.